Guess there's beauty in everything. There's peace in a heartbreak, and there's fire in the rain. So if everything means nothing these days, baby, then let it rain on me. Let it rain on me. Just let it rain on me. Let it rain on me. Just let it rain on me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelly. I'm a Canadian speculative writer. I'm also an editor, and I have a very short story coming out Friday, November 25th with Martian Magazine. Welcome back to my channel. I haven't vlogged in over a month, so I'm pretty rusty. So this video is mostly going to be a Nanowrimo vlog. I haven't even started my project yet, and it's the third week of November. So if you think you're behind, just compare yourself to me. I haven't even started yet. So yeah, this video is mostly gonna be an accountability thing. I just want to make some progress with this damn novel that I'll talk about more in detail later. This vlog is also going to be, I think, very chunky. I have so much to say. We have so much to catch up on. So yeah, Nanowrimo is going to be part of this video, but I also want to give a bunch of writing updates. So many writing updates. I chatted. First of all, I flew to Thailand to meet up with Cindy Pham, and we'll talk about that, but we spent a night, an hour talking about writing, and I kind of want to share some of my thoughts on chatting with Cindy about writing. And then I got rejected. My solar punk short story got rejected, and I want to talk through my feelings on rejection and my next steps with that particular short story. And another thing I want to talk about is what I think the best short story I've ever written. Not even the best short story, just the best thing I've ever written. I'm so proud of it, and I want to share a little bit more about that. So yeah, that's kind of like all the things I want to talk about in this vlog. I won't do it all at once, so let's just get into this video. I'm going to talk about my Nanowrimo project really quick for those of you who are new. This Nanowrimo project, I've been working on this for like over a year now. I started this project last November, last Nanowrimo, and I'm still working on this stupid story. And it's not stupid because I love it so much, but this book is a YA fantasy. It's actually a fairy tale retelling, which I've never said out loud publicly before, but I'm trying to be more confident in my writing and my ideas. So it's actually two fairy tales mashed together, and I think it's great. It's amazing, and I just haven't been writing the project. I'm at 38,000 words right now. I think we're 20% into the fun and games, so there's still a long way to go, but I'm not really keeping track of like word count goal for the overall story is not so important to me right now because we're still in the first draft. And from writing a lot of short stories the past few months, I've learned that I actually underwrite my first drafts, which is crazy because my first drafts aren't like really short. They're actually, I think, average size. So I think I actually tend to overwrite in the long term, if that makes sense. Anyway, I haven't been writing this project, I think, for like a lot of reasons actually. The first is that I keep getting distracted by like life events, just life in general, which has never been an issue for me until like this year happened. And every time I like get into the project, like something happens and like my momentum breaks, and this like I feel like I'm preemptively anticipating like another life disruption. So that's why I'm not working on the book. These are just lame excuses, okay? These are just lame excuses. So that's my lame excuse number one. The second lame excuse is that this book is so like, it's a fairy tale retelling, right? It's supposed to be lighthearted and romantic and this air of like whimsical, magical atmosphere. I'm having such a hard time evoking this tone because I've just not been in a really mentally well state. I feel like a lot of really bad things have been happening to me, going back to like the first lame excuse. Anyway, so it's really hard for me to get into that tone right now. And the third reason why I haven't been writing this, since I stopped writing the short story, since I stopped writing this novel, it's called Mia, by the way, M-I-Y-A. So since I stopped writing Mia, I've been working on a ton of short stories, and I think my style has changed. My writing has improved. As I mentioned, I wrote like the best thing ever. So I'm like, I don't want to read my past stuff because I feel like it's gonna discourage me. The last time I touched this book was in like August, and I think since August I've improved so much, and I'm just scared to read my own stuff. But yeah, we're gonna do it together because like I just want to get back into this project for Nanowrimo. That's the goal. No word count goals or anything like that. I'm looking outside because it's like really snowing. Like I have this like cute cat in the fall. It's like blizzarding outside. I'll show you a clip of it. Do we like this sweater? I don't know. I'm so tired. This video is not how I anticipated it would go. I thought I'd create like a really fun montage of me making coffee. Where's my coffee? I ended up getting Aroma espresso bar. Where's my coffee? Ah, here it is. Any other updates I want to say? Not in particular. We're gonna write after work. I'm filming this during work right now because it gets dark at like 4:45 now, and I kind of want to film when it's light outside. But you know what's interesting? What's it called? The daylight saving hasn't been really affecting me that much this year, and I wonder if it's because I transcended sad. Like I'm just D now. The D in sad, that's just me. Does a D stand for depression or disorder? Wait, let me Google this. Never mind. D is for disorder, not depression. But in other news, I've actually arranged a call with a therapist for next Friday, actually. Oh, is that when my short story comes out? Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to work and drink my coffee, and I'll see you later tonight. Yep, this is the outside world. Dreadful, I know. It's actually snowing, but yeah. Yep, welcome to Canada. What do we think about the hair? I never know how to put my hair up like this. Does it work? Alright, so it's writing time. I'm going to do something new this time. This time I'm going to share this chapter with everyone so we can work on it together. That's Bramble, just ignore him. He's the gingerish one, the blonde one. So I'm gonna record my screen and we're gonna go through this chapter. This chapter is just like half baked, half assed. I remember writing this and I remember I was just getting words out onto the page because I was following some like word count goal. And actually when I was talking to Cindy, I was saying that like I want my words to be more intentional. I remember she asked me like, oh, isn't this the first draft? And I'm still trying to find like the balance between just getting the words out versus like something more polished. And I'm as I mentioned, I'm still like figuring that out. But anyway, I think I want to be more intentional with my first drafts now. But the bigger picture of this project is that this is actually a rewrite. So I'm rewriting the original version I had written last year for NaNoWrimo. I didn't finish that draft that I started last year. That's the ginger. I just rewrote the book. So this kind of reads like a first draft, second draft, because I'm improving the ideas from the previous draft. But at this point, we have like pretty much reached the part where I stopped last year. Does this make sense? Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna do this together. This is like major, it's kind of spoilers. I don't know, you're just dropping into this, so I don't think you'll know, but I'm gonna reveal my character's name. I usually want to keep my character's name a secret because I think names are very special, but I don't give a shit anymore. Let's just do this. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. Wow, okay, so as you can see on the screen right now is that I have the margin like indented this way, and I don't do this. Like for my short stories, I don't do this. Oh, the cat's using the litter box. The cat's using the litter box. Let's wait. Let's wait. Just reading this, like, I can tell that this was just me like half-assing it. The one glaring error right now is literally the first line. This book is written in third person present. So why the hell do I have a past tense as the first line? And it's just like, it's because I was rushing, I was trying to do some word count goals, and now it's just shit. So how I would usually do this is that I'm not even gonna pull up like another copy. I'm literally just gonna change it right here. So River and Akemi were sharing a room in the left wing. Okay, so we're not line editing or anything right now, but ours, like 2 B words are really weak. So I like to, now that I've been doing a lot of line editing for my short stories, I would like to do something that's not were or are. Looking at the cats. We can even just do this. We can even just do this. So let me think. Okay, oh, the cats are fighting. River expected the inside to be similar tapestries around the corner, portraits of past rulers, relics of old god. I don't even know what the hell I was trying to say with this. Delete. Some houseplants flourish on every side of the room. I think I know what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that this manor is like old-fashioned, but the inside looks very modern, like typical 21st century modern. This is the YA fantasy that takes place in the past, so I think I was trying to convey that. I don't know, I haven't. Okay, hold on, I need to stop the cats from fighting. Mr. Brambles! Mr. Brambles! But he stays still as one of the maids both look at them with a vague interest. Please, we have prepared fresh sheets, a fire. If you need anything further, please ask any one of us. Ring our bell and someone will come shortly. They close the double doors, shutting it with a click. Okay. River remembers when he was a little child who went down to the lake every day to bring a bucket of water, and he would splash it all over himself. River takes a peek inside the lavatory. Would they say lavatory? Like, he just said bathroom. Okay, we need to find some like consistency with this. River takes a peek inside the bathroom. Do you want to brush your teeth? What's going on? One of the issues I have with this book is that I don't know the language yet, because this is a fantasy based in the past. So there has to be some sort of language and tone that these characters speak, right? So I haven't really found that yet. But I guess this is a first draft, so I'm just gonna keep going. Do they have running water? When was running water invented? Indoor plumbing. Well, the last 100 years or so. See, I'm gonna like have to like pick and choose parts of history for this story. I don't think it's gonna be consistent. River hands a brush with Akemi to Akemi with squeezed paste on it. A shower? A real shower? You can tell that like I'm just jumping around, that this is so trash, and it's hard. I don't think the edits I'm doing is like really that good either. I think this can probably just be like a one. I think I know what I wanted to do with the scene. I wanted to emphasize their relationship with each other, but this needs a whole rework, and I can't do it in front of a camera. This whole chapter is like boom 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 boom, like it needs to be detailed and compartmentalized. Like this chapter 21 should actually be 2 chapters. I think I'll just try to do that for the rest of the night to fix chapter 21. Maybe I'll reread chapter 20, but I kind of just want to rewrite the whole thing. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna do that right now. Bramble and I haven't seen the sun since the start of this vlog. Wow. Wow, Brambles! Is he not focused? What a comfy kitty! Poor baby doesn't like this camera. Hi, baby! Hi! Hey! Nope. Camera's too scary for him. So it's the next day, and I feel so much better today than I was feeling yesterday. I think I got sick. Like, I think I was sick or something, because I ended up getting like a sore throat towards the end of the day. I slept for nearly 11.5 hours. Anyway, I fixed like the first 2 paragraphs of chapter 21. It reads so much better now, so I'm gonna read it out loud to you and put up a screenshot. River carries a Kemi to the left wing of the manor, passing by tapestries of the new gods dressed as demon centaurs without faces, dragons without wings, a misshapen chimera with a lion's tail and a serpent's head. But River knows better than to think the new gods looked anything other than human, other than him. The Knock Girl makes sure of it whenever River dreams. Yeah, I think this is so much better. I don't even know what I was trying to edit yesterday, but it was fine because, you know, I got back into the manuscript. I was looking at the story again, and you know that really popular TikTok sound, a win is a win? Like, when I was like thinking back on like those stupid edits I did yesterday, I was still thinking to myself, a win is a win. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better about this chapter, because after I started these first 2 paragraphs and I was like looking at the rest of the page, I realized that I actually need to reread the book, at least the last 5 chapters, because I don't remember what's really going on. And remember yesterday there was like a random maid in the chapter. I realized that that maid like doesn't need to be so random. I could pull in a spoiler character. While I was thinking about that, I was like, wait, I forgot everything about that spoiler character. So I need to reread the last 5 chapters, and I think that chapter 21 can be really strengthened by then. I have like a better idea of where I want the story to go and the chapter to go, so that's really good news. I think this video is going to be super chunky because I haven't even talked about like the other writing updates, and I don't know when I should do that. I guess I'll do that now. I'll do one of them now. I'll talk about Cindy. Hold on, I got a ping. I got a ping. Why is work always on fire? Okay, I went to Thailand because Cindy was hosting a Trova trip. A lot of YouTubers are doing this. It's essentially like a private tour to a specific country, and I got really sick on the trip, like really sick. So if you follow Cindy and you follow her Instagram and you see her post like group pictures, you'll notice that I wasn't in any of them because I was really sick. I pretty much slept the whole time until we got to the point where I could no longer sleep. Like, we had to check out of the hotel and do a bunch of hiking and then take an overnight train to go to Chiang Mai, which is another city in Thailand. Pretty much like 24 hours leading up to the point where we would have to check out of the hotel, I realized that I was absolutely unable to go. Like, there was no way I could go. I was tied to the toilet and I was tied to the bed. I couldn't even walk properly because I had such intense stomach cramps. Like, I've never experienced such like something so painful in my life. Anyway, the reason why I'm saying this is because that last night that I stayed with the group, we ended up hanging out at the hotel's rooftop pool, which was gorgeous. And I told Cindy, I told like the trip coordinator, like everyone knew I was gonna leave, pull out from the trip. So Cindy and I, we sat on the rooftop pool with our legs in the water, and it was like the most perfect like cute meet. Like, I can't think of a better cute meet than the one I had with Cindy, even though we're both in relationships. I feel like if I was in a not sick state, I would have asked her like so many questions about how she films and like books she's reading and just general like life kind of life chats. But we steered more towards writing because I was so sick. I don't think I was like operating on my best like social level. So yeah, we mostly just talked about writing, and she recommended two writing books, Lisa Crown's Story Genius, and she recommended another one. Let me check. I remember that she sent it to me. Craft in the Real World, and this is by Matthew Salses. She said, I feel like it's more of a philosophical book rather than instructional, but I thought it was interesting in the way he points out the difficulties that marginalized writers face with storytelling. So I have to read that one. And in Lisa Crown's Story Genius, Cindy mentioned that one point that stood out to her, from my understanding, is that at the beginning of your character, like your character needs to have a misbelief, and that kind of drives their motivation or drive their arcs in the story. And I thought that was really interesting. I feel like I really need to read Story Genius now, but I haven't done that yet. I have the book, I just haven't read it yet. Definitely check out those two books that Cindy recommended. And she also took Maggie Stiefvater's writing class, not the one that I almost took, the one in Scotland or whatever. Scotland. She was hosting like an online webinar, and Maggie Stiefvater said in the course that she writes for the readers. I just personally don't write for the reader. I don't write anything for the reader. All the stories I write are for myself, and I guess there is a point where you do write for the readers if you have like a large audience. So I don't know if this is something that comes as you become more recognized. I thought that was interesting, and I told Cindy that I could be able to read her book, and that would be crazy. I would love to. I'm so glad. I can't believe I was sick, and I can't believe I left. I feel like it was such an opportunity missed. I was so horrified and embarrassed, and yeah, it was actually really disheartening. But I'm still really happy that I was able to talk to Cindy. She mentioned that I could message her if I was around and we could write together, and that would be so nice. I guess I told her about my story idea. I had to tell her, okay, it's Cindy, I had to tell her. It was really nice. We talked for an hour, and then like everyone had to go pack because they were leaving the next day. Those are my chats with Cindy. Yeah, you're the best. She's the best. I'm gonna go back to work because I just like ranted for like 10 minutes. We'll talk soon because I still have the other writing updates. I'm getting some snow boots later today, so I think I'll try them on, and maybe we'll walk outside for a little bit just to change up the scenery. Okay. This whole video, my hair has just been like whack. Anyway, I got my boots. They came while I was in a meeting, and when the meeting ended, it was dark outside. I wanted to wear it, try it on with you guys anyway. Maybe we can wear it tomorrow. And I thought I would take this time to chat about rejection. My solar punk short story got rejected, and no matter like what the circumstance is, rejection is never a good feeling. You know, to be rejected from a dream job, to be rejected from someone you admire, it's all bad feelings, right? But with writing, it's a lot of it is mostly if your piece fits with the magazine, and you gotta make sure that your piece kind of stands out, because a publisher is not gonna, like a magazine is not gonna publish the same kind of story in their issue, right? So a lot of things go into rejection, but for my solar punk story, I think it was actually just bad. It was just bad, and that's why I got rejected. And I got the most basic form rejection, so I'll share it with you guys. Dear Kelly Ty, thank you for sending us resubmission red and green, orange and blue, me and you, but we have decided not to purchase it for Solar Punk magazine. We hope your story finds a good home. Sincerely, fiction co-editors. It's fine, because when I reread the piece, I realized that it was actually not good. You guys remember the anthology I said I wanted to submit? Oh my god. So I decided to change up the red and blue story to fit into the solar punk anthology. The solar punk anthology was about a solar punk setting with a non-human character as one of the focus. I don't think red and blue really suits that anthology theme, because although I do have a non-human character in the story, it's not a main character, but it aids the main character. So it might be too abstract, but anyway, I got the rejection, I think like the last 2 weeks of October, and the anthology submission was due on October 31st, and I spent literally like 3 to 4 days editing the story for that submission. Okay, let me take that back. I wasn't really editing the story for the submission, for the anthology submission. I was just like editing the story as a whole, because I knew where the weak points were, because I got a critique, like Chris helped me critique it, so I knew what was wrong, so I was like making changes. And I did this in Taiwan when I was still sick, and we were out the whole day. Like my parents and I, we went out every single day just to like hang out and chill. I was literally writing on my phone on Google Drive and making the additional changes. So nothing structurally has changed. It's mostly I added a lot more context on character and world building. I hope I cleared that up a little bit, and I kind of removed an element that I thought was cool, but with this new change, it didn't really make sense. What I didn't do though is that I did not get this read again because I had no time. I don't condone this, so I added about 1,000 more words, and that's a lot of words. So the piece ended up being like 2,600, and I was confident in submitting it because I had it read by 3 people already, and I'm just like, I don't know, I was just like a little bit more confident. But essentially, like the last few times I read through the piece, I used the AI narration, like the accessibility screen reader, to read out the story, and for me that helps a lot. And that kind of like acted as my proofreader. The day before I submitted, like when I listened to it, I caught a few errors, and it was kind of fun listening to it. I'm really happy with the way the story ended up being. I'm gonna get rejected, like it's just a thing. I'm just gonna get rejected, so when I get that rejection again, I'm gonna probably ask Chris again to read it, and maybe I can ask Lynn. But yeah, what I'm realizing is that for me, I really need to steep myself into a story to really understand what it needs. And that's why I think the novel, like my novel, is so daunting to me, because it already takes so long to perfect a short story. Like imagine how long it takes to perfect a novel. Just too long. Anyway, I haven't even been unboxing it, so I got it from Sorel. I got pink snow boots. I didn't really want pink because I feel like I just own too many colorful things, and sometimes when I leave the house I look like a little kid because I have like a pink backpack and like a bright orange jacket, and I don't know, I feel like I look weird. But okay, let's try. Wow, it looks orangey. I think it's because of the lighting, but it's like a coral pink. I got these in 6.5, so I hope it fits. I'm a little worried though, because sometimes I feel like my size is always changing, and I don't know if me wearing like thicker socks will make a difference. But yeah, let me just try this on right now. But yeah, that's the story with the rejection. I just repurposed it for another, no, repurpose is the wrong word. I just continued to make changes and submitted it for another magazine anthology. If you guys are wondering like what happened to the original idea I wanted to submit for that anthology, that's the best story I've ever written. I'll talk about that later. This video is so chunky. It's so chunky, and I hope that's okay with you guys. I owe everyone like 1,000 million hours worth of content anyway, so I hope that's okay. I think it looks good. It feels good. There's still a lot of space, so I don't think I'm really worried about it being too small. This part is kind of weird. Like, where do I guess I just tie it, like kind of, okay, I don't know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It looks like there's a lot of space here. Wow, my feet are getting warm in this already. Okay, this is good. This is good. We'll try it tomorrow. I think we'll try it tomorrow. Speaking of rejection, you know what? Rejection is still getting better than ghosted, because I got ghosted by Nanowrimo this year. I did Nanowrimo last year. I was part of their YouTube guides, and they didn't email me this year, so I decided to just email them. And it was until like literally the day I emailed them, or the day after, that I realized they already picked their YouTube guides, and that's totally okay. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait for like them to say like, oh no, like thanks but no. And they just like didn't they just didn't get back to me, and I thought I sent them like a pretty nice email. I'll put the screenshot up here. I could have followed up, but I didn't want to. So yeah, it's weird to get ghosted from someone I used to work with. Yeah, I just wanted to complain to you guys, because who else am I gonna complain to? I was like pretty upset that they ghosted me. Like I completely understand not getting picked, but to ghost, I think that's such an easy way to burn a bridge, you know, even though they probably don't even consider me a bridge anymore. I'm gonna write tonight. I haven't written yet, and I think I'll film a little bit tomorrow morning and talk about the best story I've ever written. And I also have another idea for a short story that I kind of started earlier this month. It's another science fiction, more cyberpunk. Really excited to write that one. I was inspired from my trip to Taiwan. Yeah, there's a lot. I really like writing short stories. Like, I think they're so much fun. Okay, I'm out of breath. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, it's the next day. I didn't end up filming during the day because I went to the office. What do we think about this hair? This one time I made a video and my brother was like, Kelly, they hated your hairstyle. My parents. That was the antecedent today. Good news is that at the office I ended up reworking the chapter 21, and it's so much better now. I really wanted to share it, like I really did want to share it, but I kind of want to keep it a secret because it is full of spoilers. Like, we're literally, I dropped you guys in the middle of chapter 2, not chapter 2, act 2. But yeah, I'm really happy about that. And a quick note to everyone, if you're new, the only reason why I'm editing this is because I haven't been in the book in 3 months, right? So I don't normally edit as I go, but I have to start somewhere to get back into the book. And I knew that this chapter, like the last chapter I wrote, was incomplete and just half-assed. So knowing that, that's why I'm like editing the book, but I'm not really editing it to the full extent. I just want to make sure that the words in this draft are intentional. So I'm not gonna go too crazy, or I don't think I went too crazy earlier today when I brushed up the first 300 or 400 words or so. I just want to make sure that it's decent. Brandon Sanderson said he had a friend whose first draft was just like an outline, and he would use that first draft to really expand on the points, you know, etc. And I kind of feel like I'm sort of like that too. But anyway, I'm a discovery writer. I'm a pantser, so if you hear me say, oh, I don't really know what's going on, it's because I'm pantsing the whole thing pretty much. I usually know the big beats, but I don't know anything in between. So at this point, I know... I thought my ring flew off my finger. At this point, like, I know what the next big beat is, and I did an exercise in the summer where I use outlines, like index cards, to outline my story. You probably saw it in a previous clip. I had like index cards in the background, but I'm not really doing that right now. But I do know what the next big scene is, and I grouped it together in that chapter 21, which shouldn't be the case. So yeah, that's the update. I don't know why I'm always out of breath when I'm like talking in long monologues. Anyway, let's talk about the best story I've ever written. This video is so long. This video is so chunky. It's fine, right? It's fine. The best story I've ever written was for the Creature anthology, and it's the best story I've ever written because it's... how do I talk about this? I try to like practice saying this and I never could say it properly, or I ended up crying. It's about climate change. It's about healthy relationships between you and the earth you live on, healthy relationships between you and your partner, you and your family, including your parents, your children. This is the first time I've written a main character who's married, and this point was very important to me because I really wanted to emphasize like healthy relationships overall. Although the prompt started at, you know, a creature in this solar punk world, I realized that I wanted more than that. I wanted like a holistic kind of theme. This is the most feminine story I've written, and I don't say that lightly because I don't think I really tackle on this subject very often. Yeah, this is like the most ambitious thing I've ever written. So the reason why I realized I couldn't submit this to the actual anthology was because my first draft ended at 7,000 words. That's huge. Like most, so automatically I just couldn't submit because the word count limit was 7,000. And most, like the ideal, from my limited understanding, but from my experience, a really good word count for a short story is between like, it's around 3,500 to 4,000. So 7,000 is like way off the mark, and that was only the first draft. And when I sent it to my critique partner, she had like a few questions. Some of them were regarding to world building that I actually ended up deleting because I thought I don't need all those words, but it turns out I need them. So I'm thinking that by the end of this, it's gonna be 10,000 words. It's really chunky, so I'm gonna be really intentional about the editing and about submitting it to magazines because there are a limited amount of magazines that take stories around 10,000 words. As I mentioned, the cutoff is usually 7,000, and some submissions, or most magazines, don't like it when you go over 5,000. So it doesn't really matter if I submit it or not, but I had like the best time writing this. I not only like personally did this story capture everything I've learned for the past like 28 years of my life, but I feel like the story is the best and strongest written. I can't even speak. I just improved so much as a writer, like over the last 2 years or whenever I started this YouTube channel, because that's when I was writing like nearly every day. And I think this shows just how much I improved with storytelling. The writing itself, when I was reading back on it, it didn't feel like super cringy to me. For once I was reading it and I was like feeling like all these emotions. I was like, oh my god, like this is so good. You know, I'm still like not an amazing writer, so this is still all relative, but for me it was really nice. Yeah, climate change, alien flowers, a linguist as the main character, a main character who is married to the most supportive husband, and amazing relationships between herself, the planet, herself, and her. I cried like two times, like two distinct times writing this, because there's a bit with the main character, her mom, and I really also wanted to emphasize parental love because I feel like as I'm getting older, you really appreciate, like you really, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. You really learn to appreciate your parents. I knew I was gonna cry. That like, I feel like as a kid, you just like don't really know. Oh no, I knew this was gonna happen. But it's not even with your parents, but a healthy relationship overall. Like literally, as I mentioned, like with everything, the planet, the earth you live on, like whenever you see a parade and you see like the streets left after a parade, I'm always so disappointed that anyone could just do something like that. And climate change is a real thing. I met someone earlier this week. I went to the office on Monday actually, and this guy was trying to argue with me that Amazon doesn't contribute to climate change. Actually, I don't think he was emphasizing that it doesn't contribute. He was saying it doesn't matter. Like oh my god, I'm gonna talk about this in another video, but yeah, all my favorite themes, and especially my main character's husband is completely copied from my partner, like my boyfriend. You guys saw clips of him in the beginning. My relationship with my partner is like the healthiest relationship I've ever been in my whole life, and I also wanted to showcase that. In media especially, we see a lot of toxic relationships. We listen to a lot of songs about toxic relationships. It's really great. Like, honestly, it's great that this message is getting out there, but what are we really looking for in a healthy relationship, and what are some like role models we can look up to? My main character would not be where she is without her partner, and I can say the same thing about me. He always brings out the best in me, and I never knew what that felt like, because my past relationship, now I'm spilling the tea on myself, my past relationship was very toxic, like what we were talking about, which I didn't realize how toxic until I started dating my current partner. I feel like I have like eye stuff all over from crying for like 2 seconds. When I first posted my writing blog, I was dating that like toxic guy, and I didn't tell him I posted. I didn't tell him I posted on YouTube until I got about like 200 subscribers or 300 subscribers. I told him, and I told him my plan of posting weekly writing vlogs, and he told me I shouldn't do it. He told me that I was wasting my time and I should be using this time to focus on writing and to focus on my actual day job. This same guy, I used to tell him to not yell at me in public. I can't believe I dated these people, but okay, this is like not even about the story anymore. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I really appreciate my partner so much, and I never thought that I could be empowered by another person. Am I in focus? I've definitely been in focus this whole time, right? Or else I'm gonna cry. Again. As I was saying yesterday, I don't think I really explained myself fully. I'm really enjoying writing short stories because they're so conceptual based, if that makes sense. Like, you can pretty much write a short story that's no plot if you wanted to, and I'm such a big concept person, especially in the realm of like sci-fi. I don't need to have this whole novel plotted out. I can just write something briefly in that space and time and tell you guys a story. I guess that's it for this video. Oh, freaking Twitter. What's going on with Twitter? Honestly, how can I be writing this like fairy tale retelling when so many terrible things, just like bad things, are happening? Twitter is literally a Black Mirror episode right now. Like, this billionaire guy takes over a company, ruins lives, businesses, and he's just doing it for fun. Like, I don't even think he cares. It's crazy. I was talking to the CEO of my company. I work at a startup, so everyone kind of knows each other, even the CEO, who's also the founder, and he was telling me his stories of like starting up the company, and I can never imagine, I cannot imagine a world in which you sell your own company. Like, you built this from the ground up. Oh, speaking of building stuff from the ground up, Augur. I am so excited for you guys to read Augur issue 5.2. I keep saying this. We are formatting and typesetting the issue, the story I worked on with the writer. Every time I read it, still, I'm like, oh my god, this story is so good. I'm getting the goosebumps just talking about the story. I cannot wait for you guys to read it. Please read it. Please buy the issue. We got illustrations, and the illustration for that story is gorgeous. It's amazing, and I can't believe I found the story in the slush and I picked it up. My first time doing Augur, and it's just been a crazy experience. Augur is also hosting AugurCon, which is a writing conference. They have a lot of panels, a lot of sessions if you want to join. One of them is an AMA for editors, there's another AMA for agents, and a bunch of storytelling, world building workshops. There's one on building better hopeful futures, which is related to solar punk, which is my favorite genre. I think it's my favorite genre. I mean, I guess I just ranted for 10 minutes about the solar punk. Oh, the story is called The Word for Flower. The word for translation is flower, which is related to one of Ursula K. Le Guin's science fiction novellas called The Word for World is Forest. Yeah, lots of like crazy thematic. Okay, can't spoil, don't want to spoil. That's it for this video. It's like 50 minutes now, so I will see you guys in my next one very soon. I will have a video where I edit your stuff, your books, your first chapters. I won't have it done until the end of the year. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm never like asking anyone for like anything again because it just takes me too long to put together a video. Okay, see you guys in my next one very soon. Bye.
Just let it rain.